Go. This is episode number 4. It's the fourth week of doing these live question and answers on detoxification and natural health. And the detoxification we're talking about here is cellular and lymphatic detoxification, and it's basically cleaning out your sewer system. The body has a sewer system. I know I repeat this over and over again for anybody who's new to the channel or whatever, but we have a sewer system. It's not talked about very much, but it does need to be cleaned. The years and years of consuming mucus forming foods, acidic foods, processed foods has really shut down parts of the body for a lot of people, if not most people. And some people have a lot of the body shut down. So this is important information, and it's very, very simple, yet there's a lot of nuances to it. But in the most basic way to put it, all you have to really do is eat a high fruit diet, 80% raw fruit, the rest, vegetables, uncooked preferably. So 100% raw fruits and vegetables with mostly fruit, and the body will naturally detoxify itself and return the natural balance back to the body. But we've gotten ourselves in trouble. We need the help of the herbs to basically go after areas that are really in a degenerative state. So the herbs help us. They can move the process along quicker. So depending on what you're facing, what your conditions are, there's different ways to approach this. But quite simply, if you start eating a lot of fruit and go raw and get rid of grains, dairy, and meat, you will detoxify the body. So that's it in a nutshell. And we're just trying to help people with their specific problems and get them to Wellville. And there's a lot of suffering out there, needless suffering. And I was just reading something called the Essene Gospels of Peace, and it's an ancient writing. And the Essenes were a nomadic tribe, and they didn't cook their food. And this is a really great thing. I'm going to post it on my website, but it just talks about realigning yourself with nature, getting back to nature and trusting nature. I think that we've gotten away from that in our society. We've put a lot of trust in science, and we've basically put nature on the back burner, and we don't even know the power and the synergy that's inside an orange or a grape or an apple. I mean, it's just fantastic. It'll sustain life in such a beautiful way. So that's it in a nutshell. Clean your sewer system and get things moving again. The lymph system is 3/4 of the body, the bodily fluids, the interstitial fluid, the fluid between the cells. Every single one of your 100 trillion cells is surrounded by lymph fluid. If this lymph fluid stagnates, it turns acidic, it gets dirty, it clogs things up, and the body cannot do its job. The body has got to clean itself. Those cells are no different than you. They eat and they poop, and that poop has got to be cleaned away. So if you clog up the lymph system by consuming a lot of mucus forming, acid forming foods, the body can't do its job and you go down. So that's what this is about. Repeating again, the first thing that our goal is to get what is called kidney filtration. The kidneys are the doorway out for dirty lymph. The lymph is the dirty lymph is moved to the kidneys for filtering and for cleaning. So if the kidneys are inflamed, if they're full of mucus and they're full of acids and they're all inflamed, they can't do their job. So you recycle toxic acidic lymph back into the body. So goal number 1, kidney filtration, really easy to check. Pee into a jar. If your pee is cloudy, you're filtering. If it's clear, I don't care what color it is, it can be yellow, dark orange, whatever, that's a different issue. But if it's clear, you're not filtering. You got work to do. If it's cloudy, keep moving lymph. You can get a little more aggressive. You can use stronger lymphatic herbs. You can work out more. You can do the rebounder. You can jog, things like that to move lymph even more. But until you get kidney filtration, You know, you're going to be recycling toxic lymph back, and this is what really shuts down the body. And a lot of us are having trouble getting and maintaining kidney filtration. So this is really worth learning and trying different things, because all, you know, our bodies are all different. So it's there's a nuance to it, and there are some tricks, and we can talk about those tricks since it's such an important topic. I mean, if you can get kidney filtration and you can keep fairly consistent with it, the body's gonna rebalance itself. The hormones will rebalance, the endocrine glands will rebalance, you know, organs and glands and joints and all these things will clear out. It's going to take some time, and the herbs can speed that up, but things will start to change for you. So that's why this is so important. And I check my urine a lot, and I don't write it down, but I keep a mental diary of what's going on. And that, you know, you can learn what foods shut you down, what foods open you up. You know, things like sleep, stress, all these things are factors in kidney filtration. So it's really worth keeping a mental log on this, and having a mason jar or a glass cup or whatever, you know, in the bathroom. Hide it. You know, you don't need to have it around, but hide it and use it a lot and get used to using it. This is a great self-test. Doesn't require any doctors, no lab tests, nothing like that. You can just see your filtration. You know you're doing your job, and it will inspire you to move lymph more and more, because we all have deep work to do. You know, I've been doing this a while, and I still have some issues in my knees and in my legs that I need to work on. So, you know, it might even be a lifelong thing that we have to constantly coax the lymph to move in certain areas. But once you get through the heavy work, you know, you're pretty much coasting, and you're in sort of a maintenance mode. But you know, I just have to thank Dr. Morse, and I have to thank all the great natural healers like Arnold Ehret and Dr. Bernard Jensen and Hilton Hotema and these guys for, you know, giving us this great simple message, you know, and keeping us grounded in nature. This is so important, especially in times like this, to get back to nature and trust nature, and trust that by eating high quality natural foods, that you're going to be able to do this and return the body back to supreme health. And I'm talking about health that this society, that present day man is not used to. I'm talking about really, really incredible health and longevity, and not just getting old, but getting old and not suffering so much with degenerative disease. You know, Jack LaLanne swam to Catalina, I think, in 70s or at 80. He was towing rowboats in Long Beach Harbor, all kinds of great things. So there's a lot of great things in you know, if you look at the juicers. I mean, Jack LaLanne, of course, was a juicer, and Jay Cordes and these guys, they all look fantastic. You know, I just saw a woman that posted on Facebook that was 70, and if she said she was 49, I would have believed it. And of course, Mimi Kirk is in her 70s. She looks so fantastic. I mean, the youth and the vibrancy that comes out when you're on high fruit is just amazing. It's what you're supposed to be eating. We're frugivores. As Dr. Morse says over and over again, we're a frugivore species. Don't fear fruit. You know, I posted something on my website. You guys should all go there. It's a guy who, and thank you, Austin, if you're out there. Austin turned me on to this video. It's a guy who loaded up on a bunch of bananas in the morning, took his blood sugar, I think he was at 90, ate a bunch of bananas, waited an hour or so, redid his blood sugar. He was about 100. I mean, hardly moved him at all, and right in the perfect range. So, you know, unless your adrenal glands are really down and you can't metabolize the sugar, this fruit is not to be feared. Fruit is your friend. Fruit is what you're supposed to be eating. Fruit is going to keep you young. It's going to keep you healthy. It's going to keep you vibrant. It's going to regenerate you. Okay, so there's my little opening speech, and I think we have some questions coming in here. I'm behind here. Let's see if we can help you guys out. Okay, okay, just a couple hellos. Hello guys. Hi Dan. Hi Marv. Hi Jean Pierre. Hi Justin. I hope I'm back. I think we lost the signal there. Oh, here we go. Okay, so we're back. Sorry. Hey, thank you guys. If the signal goes, let me know. I think the YouTube servers are having some trouble. So yeah, I was talking to Justin about his muscle twitches. I want to get a little more information about his adrenals. If he has shyness, ADD, ADHD, anxiety, things like that. How's your energy? How's your blood pressure? Do you know your blood pressures, especially that top number? So if you can help me there, Justin, that'd be great, and I can answer your question, or at least point you in the right direction. Okay, Barbara, Dr. Morse talks about a 14-day protocol that he has. Can you explain what that protocol is? I think you're probably talking about the 14-week protocol, Barbara. I haven't heard of his 14-day. You know, the lowest protocol that he has is the Fab Four, and that is well, that could be a 14-day protocol. You know, because you order that week 1 and 2. So maybe you're referring to the Fab Four. That's basically just a starter kit. It's going to have 4 formulas in there. It's going to have a kidney formula. It's going to have a lymph formula. It's going to have a stomach and bowels formula, and it's going to have an endocrine gland formula. Those are the 4 areas that we like to detoxify at the same time. So you might be thinking about that. Oh no, okay. So she says, yeah, it's the 14-week protocol. Okay, so the 14-week protocol is something that if you have a chronic condition, you're going to want to go on the 14-week protocol. And what this does is it starts out slow. You know, it's going to open the kidneys up. It's going to fortify the endocrine glands and the adrenals and things like that. It's going to clean out the stomach and bowels, and it's going to move lymph. And then it's going to progressively get more intense. The next couple of weeks, it's going to go after the lymph nodes. It's going to open up those lymph nodes. It's going to go. You know, there's just some herbs that are going to be added in and kind of rotated, and then ramped up. You know, Dr. Morse has these lymphatic herbs that I think it goes 1 through 5, and they work it in different strengths. And so you don't want to jump into a 4 or 5 right off the bat. You have to kind of ramp up to these things, and certainly make sure you have kidney filtration before you're taking any strong lymphatic moving herbs. So he's designed this. You know, he's been doing this 45 or 46 years. So he's designed this to basically be a great herbal protocol to really get things going here for people that they don't have the luxury of time. You know, they're not 35 years old and just want to, you know, get a head start on cleaning out the lymph system. These are people that are really suffering. So this is a great protocol, and I like to put clients on even if they're not, you know, in a chronic degenerative state. I like to put them on, you know, for 4 or 5 weeks, and use those first protocols, and then see where we're at. You know, the Fab Four is just that's a very light one compared to the 14-week protocols. But nonetheless, I hope that answers your question. Yeah, you can go on my site under shop, and you can see what those formulas are. Okay. Um, okay. So Jean-Pierre, becoming very skinny during detox could be caused by weakness of digestion. I'm going to say malabsorption or utilization. How do we know which one of those weaknesses and how to remedy them? Okay. So you're becoming skinny during a detox. Okay, so that can mean, like you said, malabsorption. What happens is that if we're used to eating you know, a standard American diet, or you know, eating a lot of breads and pastas and things like this, and dairy, we're going to coat our bowel walls with mucoid plaque. It's a sludge that just lines the bowel walls, so you don't get a lot of absorption there. And then all of a sudden you're going, you know, depending how hard you're hitting it, you know, on your detox. Let's say you're going, you know, 80-90% fruit, and you're doing a lot of you're doing a lot of lemons and things like this, or you're doing a lot of green drinks and things, and your caloric content goes down, then you're going to lose weight. You know, you've eliminated a lot of dairy and grains that are, I mean, they're, especially the grains. There's so many carbohydrates in those. They can put on weight quite quickly. So when you eliminate those, and then also you're pulling inflammation out of the body, so you're getting skinnier there that way. You're pulling acids out of the body, so the body doesn't need to have a bunch of water and fat buffering everything, so you're losing that. So, you know, what I've found with myself and with clients is that initially you can gain weight, okay? And that's because the fruit going in, if you have weak adrenals, the fruit going in is not, the sugars aren't going to be metabolized too easily, so it's going to turn to fat and store as fat. Then the adrenals turn on, the fruit sugar is the sugar metabolism is kicked up, and then you're digesting perfectly, and then the caloric content is way down, so you start losing weight, and then you get real skinny, right? And then the body adjusts to this new, this is a foreign thing that, chances are you've never eaten like this, having high fruit. And so then the body adjusts and the weight starts coming back up. That has been my experience. Now, I have had some clients that really went down. They went down, down, down. We couldn't get their adrenals, to really do their job properly, and we could not get the stomach to get rid of the mucoid plaque. And also, a lot of times when the adrenals are down, there's other endocrine glands that are down, including the pancreas. So sometimes you're not getting the digestive enzymes that you need in the pancreas, and the food is moving through you without being digested. So there's a lot of factors there. Um, so sometimes you can hang in there and look for a turnaround. How skinny did you get, Jean-Pierre? Is it starting to become worrisome? If it is, then you can step it up and go on to onto some green drinks. And Dr. Morse has some superfood blends that you can use. And there's some raw vegan, vegetable protein things out there as well. But Dr. Morse has some really great things too to help that. You don't want to get too depleted, but then again, you want to detoxify the body and get the endocrine glands to balance out. So hopefully that helps you. Yes, malabsorption, weak adrenals, weak pancreas. Could be the pituitary is down. That controls all the endocrine glands, pancreas and adrenals included. So, and the thyroid for metabolism, your metabolism could be low. So there's a lot of factors there. Give me more info, and we can see what's going on with that. So I hope that helps you based upon the information you guys are giving me. I'm trying to do the best I can. There's a lot of it's very simple, but there's a lot of nuances here, and I'll just try to help you as much as I can. Okay. Um, okay, so Deem H60, are there 8 different formulas in each of the 2 weeks of the 14-week time period? Yeah, yeah, that 8 formula thing is pretty consistent. I know in the first 6 or 8 weeks it is. I'd have to look on those back weeks, but yeah, in the first 6 or 8 weeks, it's 8 formulas, and yeah, mostly going after the 4 areas. Again, I'll repeat it: the endocrine glands, the kidneys, the lymph system, and the stomach and the bowels, all at the same time. Now, one other thing that is done during these protocols is the liver and gallbladder. So he'll put some formulas in for liver and gallbladder, sort of near the beginning of the 14-week period, but not at the very beginning. And he'll also incorporate the anti-parasite, antifungal herbs, because we all have funguses and parasites in us and worms. So he'll put those in there too. so many people have candida. I mean, I see a lot of eyes, and just all the eyes are full of sulfur. So there's a lot of candida problems out there. So he'll mix all those in, and rotate these things to the best of his experience. With all those years of experience, he knows when to put them in. And so this is this has been worked out over many years. So I hope that helps you there. Yeah, 14-week protocols. Check them out. It's really great stuff. And yeah, and then I like to move into the GI room after I don't know, 4 to 6 weeks, if you can handle it. That's really powerful, and so many of us really have clogged up GI tracts. So the GI broom is, it is my favorite herbal blend that he has. I mean, this stuff is powerful, man. I'll tell you, it really gets things moving. And a lot of people that have kidney filtration problems, when they start getting on the GI broom, their kidneys open up. Because everything drains into the center, so it helps with that. So yeah, I like getting on the GI broom, as soon as you can tolerate it. But after a few rounds of the stomach and bowels formula. Okay. Racco's stage 5 kidney failure, GFR 7. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's tough. Wow. Yeah, this is what can happen. The kidneys get so clogged they just shut down. Man. Yeah. I would have to talk to you offline about this. This is serious stuff here. Um, I yeah, that's really any hope. I'm vomiting and nauseous. Yeah, there's always hope. Okay, don't let anybody ever tell you there is not hope. All right. Um, Unfortunately, you've gotten to the stage where it's become real serious. But never give up hope. And you know, turning this around is going to take some. It's going to take some time, and it's going to take some finesse, because you can't. Your kidneys are already in a very weak state, so you can't just hit them hard. You've got to turn this around slowly. Um, but contact me, off of this site, and fill out a health questionnaire. Get me a picture of your eyes, and let's see what's going on there. Okay, but never give up hope. Okay, never. The body can regenerate. Okay, the body has a energetic blueprint of perfection that it's always trying to get back to. Okay, and it needs your help to do that. Okay, it needs the help of nature and you to direct it back. All right. So yeah, real sorry about that, and I wish you peace, and I hope the vomiting and the nausea subsides. But yeah, please get a hold of me, okay? Yes, there's always hope. Um, okay, so Jean-Pierre is 71 and lost lots of weight in the last 12 months, maybe 20 pounds. I'm 5'8". How much do you weigh, Jean-Pierre? Let us know that. Okay. Um, I cannot use the GI broom yet because of prostate problems. Urination difficult at night. Okay, hold on here. Okay, I'm sorry, I skipped over you a little bit here. This is Jean-Pierre again. I have a lot of energy, feel good, eat a lot of fruits and veggies, tons of herbs and superfood. Great, that's awesome. So you're at 115 to 118, and you're 5'8". So you're 118. Okay, you're 118. Okay, so yeah, you're thin. So yeah, do you know your blood pressures? How's your energy levels? That's good to know there. If check your stools. I mean, if you're seeing food in your stools, that means you're not digesting. Your pancreas could be down. Okay, and I usually don't like to recommend digestive enzymes, but sometimes sometimes they can help you, get that pancreas back online to help you digest. Um, so you may want to try that. Just don't get too addicted to them. The body the body says, when you give it these things, especially enzymes and probiotics and all that, the body just says, hey, great, someone's doing the work for me. I'm going to kick back. So you lose that strength in that area. So, but these can get you back. So I hope. Oh yeah, very good. Yeah, I hope that helps you. But that could help. And also, if you've been working the adrenals and working these glands, and you're not getting results, check your pituitary. If you know how to read eyes, take a look up in the upper part of the eye. There's a lot of lymph up there, or some crypts and lacunas. You got some issues up there. Send me a picture of your eyes, and I'll take a look for you. Yeah, get a hold of me offline. It's I'll type my email here if it'll let me. It's Mark at Mark James Gordon.com. Okay, so anybody that needs any questions answered offline, just go ahead. I'd be happy to help you. So Jean-Pierre, yeah, so you got prostate problems. So, okay, so you've got lymphatic issues, right? The prostate is down because it's swollen, right? It's acidic. There's a lymph stuck in there, and it's inflammation is acidosis. The thing about the prostate and the thing about the female areas of women is that testosterone and estrogen are acidic, and you need progesterone to counter that. And a lot of progesterone is made in the adrenal glands, so it's a sign that your adrenal glands are weak. You're not making the antacid, steroids to counter that. And so this is a sign that this is moving lymph, moving lymph, getting the kidneys filtering. I'm sorry, I don't remember if you told me, Jean-Pierre, if you have kidney filtration. I'm kind of scrolling back. I don't see that. Yeah, let me know if you're getting kidney filtration. This is really super important. Okay. And also, Rakos, tell me more about your kidneys. How did you ever get filtration? How long you've been working the kidneys, trying to get them cleared out and all that. Let's know more about your situation there. Jean-Pierre, when I eat grapes, I get shortness of breath. Okay, so that's adrenals. That's your autonomic nervous system. Okay. Um, that might be that, yeah, grapes are very powerful. When I eat a lot of grapes, I know what you're talking about. I can feel this sort of power come up into my chest. And they're very, very energetic. Um, uh, but you could be getting hit with a blast of a sugar rush, basically. So that could be is it very short? That your shortness of breath, is it just a short little episode? Let me know more about that. Jeb Jeep, Jeb Jeep, how you doing? Should we be paying attention to urine odor or urine pH? Yeah, uh, you know, I know a lot of us have cats, and cats' urine is really smelly because they're meat eaters. They're one of the only true carnivores, and yeah, urine odor is usually proteins. And okay, urine pH. This is an important question because here's another self-test you can do. Okay, you want the urine to be slightly, you want it to be slightly acidic because you want to know that acids are being kicked out of the body. So, a 7 is the middle. Okay, 7's neither alkaline or acidic. So 6.8 is going to be slightly acidic. 7.2 slightly alkaline. So yeah, if you're getting slightly acidic urine, that's a great sign. Shows you that you're moving acids out of the body, out of the kidneys, and all that. So that's a great question. Thank you. Yeah. So stinky urine, too much protein. And proteins can come from, they can come from the veggies too. Jean-Pierre, get a lot of mucus out from the throat and nose. Okay, so it sounds like you're backed up head to toe. Okay, so you're full of mucus. You've got what they call systemic acidosis, interstitial lymphatic constipation, all systemically through you. Okay, not uncommon, Jean-Pierre. Um, you know, um, Tell me about your diet. You have a very French name. I know the French are the best cooks I've ever I've ever come across. But I'll tell you, there's a lot of breads and cheeses and things like that, which are really not our friend. A friend to the lymph system. Especially in any kind of great quantities and everyday stuff. Okay, so Jean-Pierre again. No, it stays for the whole afternoon. Oh, okay. Wow. So that's telling me autonomic nervous system. Take a look at your eyes. Are you seeing circles? You'll see in the eye, the iris of the eye, you'll see kind of rings. Okay, and these are a sign that that they're called nerve rings, and it's a sign that your myelin sheaths, the nerve casings are compromised. So these are this is your nervous system, and this is one of the hardest things to regenerate here. So it's going to take a high fruit diet to do that. Like Dr. Morse says, the only way to really address the neurological weaknesses is 100% fruit. So yeah, so this is yeah, it's sounding more and more like you've got the adrenals way down here. Okay, Rakos, the one with the kidney failure. I get some filtration. Good. I'm on Dr. Morse's protocol, but it seems like it's too much for me. Okay, then do the best you can. You know, do the best you can. Um, are you working with anybody, Rakos, over at Dr. Morse's office? You know who might be really good for you is Marcy, because Marcy's is a diabetic, and she really understands this. She would be a great person to contact over there. You have a serious issue here, and she's dealt with this. I think she's been diabetic for 20, 25 years, and she's been working it hard. Type 1, and probably well, she got it at a very young age. So she can help you there. All right. So give Dr. Morse's office a call, please. Um, and then they can adjust your protocols and help you. You give them the little nuances of how it's too much for you and all that, and they can help you with that. Okay, Justin, how do you think seedless grapes? Do you think seedless grapes are okay? Does Dr. Morse fast people on seedless grapes because they feel seeded ate better? What are your thoughts? Thanks, man. Yeah, I love things with seeds. It shows you that they're not so hybridized. You're getting more of the natural, power of the fruit, the power of nature. Man comes along. This is, when you hybridize things, you're not genetically modifying it. It's not that crazy, but you're actually, you're splicing things together and letting them grow together that probably would not be happening in nature. So, the more I get into this, the more I try to align myself with the purity of nature. I found a beautiful little photograph that I posted on my Facebook page, and it was a beautiful Native American woman, and it said, you know, nature is my God, and the earth is my church, and the more that I get into this, the more I realize that. And let me just talk about this. There's some beautiful things that happen when you get on a high raw diet, especially fruit. I mean, the I'm going to say spiritual, but you really start to align with nature in such a beautiful way. I mean, my appreciation of things now is so much more, and I just see I see the magic and the beauty, and the power of nature just so much more. And so that's just one of the great side effects of all this. And so things that are supernatural. I posted on my Facebook page a shot of we have an 85-year-old woman, Leroyce Hicks. She grows these beautiful oranges. Her husband planted the trees 50 years ago. They were supposedly the best rootstock he could find. These oranges are so orange, and you put them next to a store bought, it's ridiculous. There's seeds in them. They're a little rough around the edges. They look kind of ugly. Some of them, they're not perfect. Not shiny anything, but they got little divots in them and all that. But they are so fantastic. I mean, I ran out today. I had to buy more oranges from the market, and it's so disappointing. Every third or fourth one is dry. Some have super thick skins, no seeds in them. So yeah, so try to find organic, seedless, non-hybridized, dark grapes. I avoid the light grapes, the green grapes and all that. They're sour to me, and they just don't have the flavor. So Concords, the Tom Cords, well, those are actually a splice tea. You don't want those, but pure Concords would be the best, and the reds and things like that. So yeah, do the best you can on that. And if you can't find them, do the best you can. That's all I can say. Sometimes it takes a little work. Going finding these little markets, and I'm in a growing country here out in Ventura County. So sometimes you can really find some wonderful produce like that. So I hope that helps you, Justin. Only have access to seedless grapes. Yeah. So do the best you can. Veggie wash everything, even if it's organic. Get a good veggie wash. They sell them at all the health food stores, or use some white vinegar. Yeah, but sometimes you can't get the most high quality fruit, but it sure beats pulling into the pulling into the drive-through. So do the best you can. Mostly fruit and some veggies. That's Rocos. But I'm not sure what that's referring to. That's your diet, mostly fruit and some veggies. Okay. Are you on dialysis, Rocos? Let me know. Yes, I work with Marcy. Fantastic. Okay, so you're in great hands there. Okay, and yeah, keep us posted what's going on there. Yeah, I want to know if you're on dialysis and all that. But yeah, she's really had the experience with that. And Jeb Jeep, I wonder if you could speak a little about your journey to health. What health issues did you overcome? Okay, yeah, I had fibromyalgia, which is basically I was hurting head to toe. It's systemic acidosis, interstitial lymphatic constipation. My sewer system was filthy, dirty, wasn't filtering. My GI tract was a mess. Um, and I I was ignorant, I was busy. This is in my 30s, in early 40s. I was busy. I was a film producer, a film director. I had my own production company, and playing the whole Hollywood game, and actually, a hands-on producer. I would actually be on the set and things like that. So making no excuses, but my diet was horrific. I mean, really bad. Fast food, drive-throughs, you know, uh, eating off catering trucks, because when you're in the film business, they cater. They have a thing called a craft service table where they lay out a table at 24/7. There's always a table full of usually cruddy food, just so you never go hungry. Because there's guys, they're lifting big lights and big, props and things like that. So there's always food, and you walk by that table, you grab a handful of chips, M&Ms, just garbage, and then they'll bring out treats and throw it on the table. Like they'll go and they'll heat up a pizza and throw it out there, and you're just grabbing stuff all day long. And I was 35, 40 pounds heavier. I didn't care what I was putting in my body. I wasn't really correlating too much, what it was. But anyways, I got fibromyalgia. Um, I'm very athletic. I'm a surfer and a skier for many, many years, and I was going down. I was really hurting. It would take me a good hour just of yoga and ibuprofen just to get moving. And so anyways, I it got so bad I had to do something about it. So my first journey into natural healing was I went to a doctor who was also into natural healing as well. She believed that food allergies were the cause of a lot of things, and so we did a food panel. And I've told this story before, but we did a food panel. My blood was taken, and I looked. It was put up against 300 food antigens, and they can tell what you're allergic to. And literally, I was at my computer. I was checking my email. My test came in as a PDF over email, and I was eating a cheese omelet, coffee with cream, um, white toast with butter and jelly, and maybe some potatoes and some some ketchup. And literally, most everything on the plate was I was allergic to. Dairy off the charts, gluten, wheat off the charts, eggs off the charts. So it was a wake up call for me. So I said I'd give it a try. I knocked these things out of my diet, and my God, if I didn't start feeling a whole lot better within a month or so. So I just kept going, and then I, I kept on the path, and it brought me to different stages. I found David Wolf, and before that I had found Daniel Vitalis, who was kind of a paleo guy, but I steered clear of that. I got off of that real quick, and then I went to David Wolf, who had all these superfood ideas, and you know blue green algae that cost $50 or $60 for a few ounces, and Peruvian macas, and all these things that were these superfoods that were supposed to really be wonderful and all that, wonderful ways to get proteins and all that kind of stuff. It was very, very expensive. I had a lot of supplements going on, trace minerals and colloidal silvers and all these things, all this isolated chemistry where they're isolating B12 out and vitamin K's and all this kind of stuff. And then I moved into I started watching Dan McDonald very early on in his game, and he, if you guys know Dan, I mean he's quite a character. He's a Dr. Morse guy, used to be at least, and he would stand. He lived in a motorhome, and he would stand in front of the motorhome with a blender. I guess he'd hook it into the generator, and he'd have the generator running, and you could barely hear him in the beginning, but he would blend up these drinks, and and he had a juicer. He had I think a Breville juicer, but a lot of green drinks and things like that. And he knew a lot about the different herbs and the different veggies and fruits and all that kind of stuff. But mostly a veggie guy. And so that brought me there. And then Dan was speaking here in Ventura County in Oxnard at the Whole Foods. So I went to go see him, and I ran into to um, to Steve Factor, who's also a Dr. Morse guy. And we were just talking, and these guys both said, you gotta listen to Dr. Morse. From talking to me and what I was into, he says he's going to take you to the next level. And then someone else had said that. So I had three people within a very, very short time mention this guy, Dr. Robert Morse, and I had no idea who he was. And I was a little bit hesitant at first. Like, oh God, another guy, right? There's all these people out there with all these ideas, and I didn't know. I mean, I figured if I hadn't heard his name by now, he's not that important. But man, right from the get-go, I tuned into him, and I just got on the high fruit, and the whole game. The game went up another notch, and another notch, and so that's sort of my story. And so yeah, no, I'm not on ibuprofen. No, no. I mean, to get me to take any kind of a pain reliever would be really difficult. My cabinets are cleaned out. I barely have anything in there as far as supplements. I do have a lot of herbs. I make a lot of my own tinctures, and of course I have my own company, the Giovanna Detox tea. So yeah, I play around a lot with herbs, and I do a lot of tinctures and things like that. And I'll tell you, my weight has really gotten to such a great spot. Like I said, I went up and then down, and yeah, I'm hovering around I think about 180, 185. I'm 6'2", so it's just a perfect weight for me. And yeah, the body just loves what I'm doing, and it's really, I'm not perfect, and I don't expect anybody to be absolutely perfect. Unless you have a really, really deadly disease, or a really degenerative, you really need to turn things around. You can afford a little bit of leeway here. I'm not perfect in my diet, but I can honestly say I'm 80 to 90% raw, and a lot of fruit. I mean, some days I go 100% fruit all day long with maybe a couple little rice tortilla cracker things with avocado on it, things like that. But yeah, no, mostly, fruits, always until noon, and then maybe till 1 o'clock or so. And then, I have my bursts of creative energy and all that. I'm up very early in the morning, sometimes at 4:30. So I'm very creative up until about 1 o'clock. And then sometimes I will have a salad, nice big salad, and I make my own tahini dressing. I'm going to post that. I think I do have it on my site. Check out recipes. The Food Babe has got this amazing tahini dressing recipe. Anyways, I'll put that on there. And when I and I'll have my avocado and all that. But when I eat that, that takes me down, and I can take a nap if I have the time, and then just go down for a half hour, 45 minutes, and then come back out of that. So yeah, I hope that answers your question. That was very long-winded, but I guess it's worth talking about. Just going from the standard American diet. We're going to call it the standard Hollywood working man diet, which is just awful. It's just really bad, you know, really terrible. And going from that on up to the high fruit, high raw, vegan diet is just so fantastic. And I'll tell you, if I ever get back in the film business, I'm gonna that craft service table is gonna be 100% raw. Maybe with some rice, right? Those rice cracker things, but these guys that work on these movies, I feel really bad for them because a lot of them, they're not looking too good, and their health is really suffering, and there's a lot of long hours and things like that. Let me get back to your questions. I'm sorry, I got a little off the track on there, but thanks so much for that question. And yeah, I like to tell my story. I'm in this with you guys, really. We're all doing this together, and I wear the robe, and I do still go into heavy detoxes where I do go down. I'm still dealing with acids in my head too, and in my eyes especially. My dad's got macular degeneration and cataracts, and I don't want to get that, so I'm going in and digging deep on those acids. Anyways, okay, let me back up here and see where I left off. Okay. Yeah, okay, so that was Justin's question there. And okay, uh, okay, uh, Justin 26. I'm okay. Took hair loss pill Propecia to stop hair loss a year ago. Had severe erectile dysfunction for a year now. Only took pill for a month. Whew, man. Yeah, I'll tell you, these pharmaceuticals have got side effects. I mean, just look at the ads on TV. I mean, sometimes the side effects are 50 to 100 times more than, serious than what you're trying to treat. You know, so I mean, trying to treat hair loss, and having these kinds of issues is just horrible. I'm sure there's many more side effects. Um, let's talk. Let's talk about what hair loss is. Hair loss is okay. You're born with the hair that you have. If you start losing hair, a lot of people say, well, it's genetic. My great grandfather or my grandfather on the mother's side was bald, so therefore I'm going to be bald. And a lot of that is true. I mean, there's some genetic traits that get passed on, genetic weaknesses. Okay, but There's also what they call epigenetics. Epigenetics are the environmental side of it, the control that we have over the genetic weaknesses. So just because you have a genetic weakness does not mean you have to go down to it. So, the hair loss in the scalp is really acidosis in the head. Okay, you've got stagnant lymph in the scalp area. It's turned to acid, and now it's killing hair follicles. Acids destroy, right, and dehydrate. Okay, so you want to alkalize that. You want to get lymph moving interstitially. Okay, subcutaneously in the head there. You can do this by promoting circulation to the head. Okay, how do you do that? Well, you can stand on your head, go do some inverts. I know it sounds crazy, but you can do some inverts. You can also do some scalp massages, some skin brushing. You can also use the upper circulation herbs that Dr. Morse has, or you can copy what he's got. You can see the formulas there. Do the upper circulation. You can do hot and cold showers where you get your head under the shower, turn it up hot. Start with hot first, okay? That'll open up everything, open up the lymph capillaries, right? It'll get the lymph a little bit, you know, um, uncoagulate the lymph a little bit, and then do the cold. That'll compress everything and squeeze everything. And like an accordion, you can go back and forth and squeeze and move. Okay. You can do the lymphatic massages here. I have videos on my site how to do that and get the lymph draining out of the head. You can do ear candling, which can help move lymph in the head area. There's a lot of things you can do, and the hair can grow back. A certain amount of that hair can grow back, but that sounds like a really serious side effect for that. Um, I'm only 26. Facial hair grows very slow now. Shave only once a week now. Yeah, you may have to detox that propecia out of your body, and you know, um, yeah, it sounds like it's affected areas far away from your head there. Yeah, so detoxifying out the chemical residues of that propecia. I would get on a fairly aggressive detoxification program, Justin, and move that out. Yeah, be very careful with the pharmaceuticals, especially if you're doing multiple ones, because they don't know all the interactions. If you see all that stuff on television for just one pharmaceutical, imagine if you're taking two or three or four or five. I mean, it's going to take a computer to correlate all these things, and it's going to be a huge list. So, anyways, yeah, try to do this naturally is what I would do, and move lymph. Okay, move your lymph, kidney filtration, detox these residues out. Okay. Um, been very depressed for a year now. Yeah, I would be too. You know, uh, yeah, I mean, is the depression related directly to this? If not, depression, let me just say this, depression is tied to the thyroid and the parathyroid, the calcium, okay? This is why mothers that give birth and their babies take a lot of calcium and they can't put it back because of weak parathyroid, they get postpartum depression. We get it too. When we don't have enough calcium levels in the body, we get depressed. But also you can have situations in life that can make you depressed, but that's more acute, all right? Um, okay, been very depressed for a year now. I believe I'll beat this with Dr. Morse's protocol. Also got the twitches. Yeah, so work on that four-way detox. And endocrine glands, they release your hormones, okay? So by detoxifying, moving lymph, getting things draining, getting the GI tract draining, getting the kidneys filtering and draining, getting the lymph moving, getting the endocrine glands back balanced, getting the toxins and the blockages out of the glands and organs, can bring them back online and get them strong again so the body can rebalance, okay? This is what we need to do, and we do this through detoxification. We do this by cleaning our sewer system, which is all through the body. There's not one place in your body that's not covered by your sewer system. The cells could not live if they weren't floating in this lymph fluid, okay? Why this isn't front page news, I have no idea. Actually, I do have an idea why it's not front page news. but it's there's forces out there that don't care about the individual. That's all I'm going to say. They care more about the bottom line profit. It's our job to wise up. Okay. All right. Okay. So, oh wow, I think I'm. Oh wait, I scrolled up. Okay, so here we go. Oh, Rich Mazzetta, he wanted to thank me for all the inspiration and getting help. Absolutely, Rich. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Rich was my neighbor in back. This is back, a long time ago, and we kind of got on a health thing because we were next door neighbors, and our wives were cooking these big pasta meals, and we were having these big dinner parties with a lot of bread and pasta, and we were both putting on weight. So I think vanity first got us into. If I'm not mistaken, we got into the South Beach diet, and the South Beach and Fit for Life, which I believe were high protein. They worked, but man, they hurt our kid. They certainly hurt my kidneys. But it's all a path. We get on this path, and hopefully we keep steering in the right direction. It's like sailing. You have to go sideways and then sideways back a little bit, and eventually you get to where you're going. So, but the tacks get smaller and smaller. So I think my big tacks are over. I think I'm on course here, but we can always refine the course. Okay, how long did it take you to overcome fibromyalgia? Well, that's a great question. I really don't know if I've completely overcome it. And what I mean by that, like right now, I feel really, really good. I'm having a great run energetically and everything. I mean, it's just unbelievable. But I'll tell you, when I fall off the wagon, when I do the wrong kind of cheat or eat too much, and I wonder if I told you guys. No, it might have been last Tuesday. I went to a little party, and they had an early Thanksgiving, and I told myself, I said, well, you know what, I don't want to be rude. I'll have just a tiny bit of their, and it was a vegan. It was all vegan. These are all vegans, and I'll have a little bit of their cooked food, but I'm not going to have a lot. And I was going to, get my own plate and just take a tiny, tiny bit of each thing and taste it. They had candied yams, they had stuffing, they had some potatoes and some other little things. And I guess they had a tofu turkey thing. Anyways, I was gonna have a little. When I got to up to get my food, a guy handed me the plate. He says, "There you go, Happy Thanksgiving." And okay, thank you. And I told myself, okay, he made me the plate. I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to just take a little taste of each of these things. All right. Well, the smell was great. I tasted and got to talking with some people, and that plate was almost clean before I figured out that I was in trouble. Okay, so I literally spent a couple of days not feeling 100%. I was probably operating at 75%, which is, when you're used to operating at a high level, that's a big takedown. And I didn't like it. I got caught in that. And these things happen. And I did feel some gut inflammation. I do yoga every morning, and I do 36 little asanas. And I've been doing this for many, many years. And when I go side to side, if I feel stiffness there, I can feel my gut being stiff and inflamed. So yeah, I still get inflammation. My knees hurt a little bit, things like that. So am I 100% through with fibromyalgia? No, I don't think so. But if I'm really eating well and my cheats are really small, they're tiny little bits of food, of anything I want. I don't eat meat, anymore. That's my thing. But anything I want. If I want to have a little piece of pizza, I'm going to have a small piece of pizza, and it's going to go through me in a small quantity. I'll be able to handle that. I know my body. My body does get clearer and clearer though as this goes on. So that little piece of pizza, maybe that 2 little sliced cheese is now 1 sliced cheese. And that might even go down more. That's what happens. As you purify the body, your cheats, you can only handle smaller and smaller cheats. So I'm going to tell the Yogananda story one more time because the feed cut out and I didn't finish it. But Yogananda was this great guru that came over from India about 100 years ago or 90 years ago. And he came in and he was going to teach the Hindu philosophy to the Americans. And he was really embraced well. People loved this guy. He was a great speaker. And he was a little long-haired guy and exotic, wearing orange robes and all that. But anyways, he had a big following. He filled the Shrine Auditorium in Los Angeles to overflow capacity, all this. He was very popular, but this guy came up to me and says, listen, I really want to join your organization. It's called Self-Realization Fellowship. It still is. And Yogananda said, great, I'd love to have you. And he said, well, I got to tell you, I'm a smoker. And Yogananda said, great, that's no problem. Join us. We'd love to have you. He says, well, I got another problem. I'm a drinker. I drink a lot. And Yogananda says, that's fine too. Just come on, and we'd love to have you. He says, okay, I'm also a womanizer. Okay, I sleep with a lot of different women. He says, that's okay too. Come on, join us. He says, well, wait a minute. I thought this was a religious, group of high moral standard. He says, it is. He said, but I guarantee you, once you start doing what we're doing and embrace our practice, you're not going to want to do these things. And that's the way I feel with this. The higher levels you get on detoxification, the higher the levels of raw you get, the higher the levels of fruit you go to, the less you're going to crave other foods, the less you're going to be able to tolerate other foods. You're still going to have the little demon that says, eat it, go ahead, make the cheat. But the price is higher. So don't worry if you cheat. Your body's going to let you know. It's going to direct you. And that I can guarantee. So don't worry about if you fall off the wagon. Your body's going to let you know. It's going to kick you in the butt. And you're not going to want to do it again. So I got to finish the story. I hope the feed didn't cut out. It looks like we're still live. So, so there you go. Cheat all you want. I'm gonna go with Yogananda. Cheat all you want. I don't care. I really don't. Because once you embrace this, your body's not going to let you cheat so much. Okay? And all right, so let's go on to some questions here. Okay, Rich Jesse. Hi, Mark. What herbs would you recommend for high blood pressure? Okay, well, high blood pressure is really a kidney issue. All right. Now, kidneys and adrenals. All right. So it can mean a couple of things. It can mean that your kidneys are inflamed, okay, causing a pressure buildup. It could also mean that your arteries are clogged, causing a pressure buildup. Okay. So what's clogging arteries? Right. You got plaquing. All right, and that's from cholesterol. Okay. Now, understanding cholesterol is an adrenal issue. It's not so much your diet as far as what we've been told. We've been told that, well, if we eat a lot of butter and steak, we're going to have high cholesterol. Not necessarily so. What happens with the body is that when your adrenals are down, your adrenals make steroids that are antacids. They fight the acids that you're taking in, okay, by eating acidic foods, acid-forming foods. They fight that. Okay, when the adrenals are weak, they can't make those acids to the level they need to make them. So the body goes to the liver and asks for cholesterol. It says, give me cholesterol. Cholesterol is a great antacid. So now you're using cholesterol to fight acids that you should be fighting. You shouldn't be fighting so much at all. You should not be eating such acidic food, but your adrenals should be able to handle. Okay, so now we can understand high cholesterol better. High cholesterol is weak adrenals. And then that's the top number, okay? That's that pressure, that high pressure number, okay? And then the relaxing number, the bottom number, when the pressure, in between the beat of the heart, right? That's the kidneys. That's the standing pressure, and that's where the kidneys are. So if you have high pressure in the kidneys, You know, 60 is where we want to be. If you're creeping towards 70, you're in the 70s and the 80s, and God forbid the 90s and hundreds, your kidneys are just really clogged up, and they're putting everything under pressure. Okay, so what herbs do you recommend? I recommend herbs that clean up the kidneys. You know, I recommend these detox protocols. You know, just remember to stay away from licorice root if you have high blood pressure, and I think that's in the it's in the adrenal tonic, because licorice root's really good for the adrenals, but it's not good if you have high blood pressure in the kidneys. Okay, so just remember that. Use the endocrine balance formula instead of the adrenal formula. You know, if you have that kidney pressure, that lower number. Okay. Um, but go ahead and contact me offline for more. I know that's a little bit confusing. Okay. Why does high protein hurt the kidneys? High protein is very acidic, okay, and acids inflame, okay, and for some reason the high protein makes it down to the kidneys and inflames the kidneys, okay. So yeah, high protein eaters, the weightlifters, you know, weightlifters that pump all these protein powders and whey shakes and all this kind of stuff, they have a high preponderance of getting rheumatoid arthritis. Okay, and rheumatoid arthritis is the same thing as fibromyalgia, the same thing as lupus. All those things, those autoimmune diseases, are really systemic acidosis, interstitial lymphatic constipation, a dirty sewer, clogged kidneys. There you go. Ike Gingrich, great info, Mark. Ike, hey Ike. All right, glad you could join us. Yeah, let us know how we can help you, Ike. And thank you very much for tuning in. Rich and Jesse, Mark, why is sulfur not good for the body? I was told that the lungs are made up of sulfur. Lungs made up of sulfur. Well, I don't know about that one. That would be news to me. Um, you know, sulfur. The sulfur we're talking about is usually in the antibiotics. You know, it's a inorganic sulfur, and it gets in the bowels and it sticks to the bowels, and it helps fungus proliferate in the body, especially candida. That's why we don't like the sulfur, and it's really hard to get out of the body as well. But I know that sulfur is natural. It's naturally occurring. It's in a lot of foods and all that kind of stuff. Um, you know, a lot of times when you're isolating chemicals out and you're putting them into pharmaceuticals and into the foods, you're adding them into the foods and things like that, like sulfites in wine to preserve it and things like that. It's a different animal. You know, it's just not in a synergistic configuration, if that makes any sense. You know, okay, I'll give you an example. You can take an orange. You can take a beautiful orange grown by the beautiful Leroyce Hicks out there in Santa Paula, this 85-year-old woman still growing these oranges for us, okay? And you can eat that and get incredible vitamin C out of that in a synergistic, holistic way. Or you can take ascorbic acid and a Flintstone vitamin. Okay, you're both getting vitamin C, but you know, come on, there's a complete difference there in ways that we don't even know. Okay, so yeah, I hope that answers your question. Unnatural sulfurs in antibiotics really cause some problems. Barbara, thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Barbara. You know, Barbara's been on every one of these calls, so she's 100% on these calls here, and she's detoxing. She's doing great, and we had such a fantastic talk. Yeah, her mom was really a very special person, and we talked a lot about that. And yeah, Barbara has some fantastic stories. Okay, is it okay to consume sulfur-rich vegetables? You know, I don't particularly like them. I don't, you know, the broccolis and the cauliflowers and the Brussels sprouts don't really work for me. They make me really gassy, and I don't personally like them. And I think it's probably a good idea to avoid them. I mean, you mostly have to cook these anyways, you know, or steam them. I know you can throw them on the salads and all that, but you know, I don't really like them myself. Do they I don't know if they help accumulate sulfur in the body, but I think they interfere with you trying to get rid of the sulfur that is in the body. So I would say avoid them while you're detoxing, and you know, I just avoid them. They're number one. You know, the broccolis and cauliflowers and all that, they're very hard to digest. They're like beans. You know, they're just really hard on the body. And you know, I prefer the you know, the highest quality of the vegetables are your raw green leafy vegetables. You know, your romaines. I've seen some beautiful romaines that are just really dark. Your kales, your spinach, your collard greens, your chards. All these things are just so, you know, and your herbs. You know, your parsleys and your cilantros and your dandelions and things like that. These are really the best that you can consume. They're so nutrient rich, and you know, you can, you make that the base of your salads and your green drinks. And you know what I like to do with my salads? I got this from Gabriel Cousins. Is make a rainbow of color. You know, the color in the salads, in the vegetables, is minerals. So you know, I'll take and I'll make a nice bed of some really dark great leafy greens and try to mix them up. You know, I also love arugula. You know, arugula has a great nutty flavor to it. But you can actually, you know, throw in some, maybe get some green peppers and some red peppers and some yellow peppers. You know, little amounts of that, and some tomatoes and some you know, carrots and some beets, and try to get a real great rainbow of colors in there. And some radishes, you know, the white of those radishes with the red on the outside and things like that. And sprouts as well. Sprouts are so power packed, especially the alfalfa sprouts. And yeah, you don't really need the broccolis and the cauliflowers and all that kind of stuff when you're doing that. And you're going to get the highest nutrition possible, you know, in your salads there. Um, oh, thanks, Jean Pierre. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll try to keep up the good work here. I've actually gone over time. I got, you know, this has been a great session. We've had a lot of great people here, and thank you so much all for. I'll try and blast through these last couple questions here. What are your thoughts on enemas, Mark? Thanks for the great meetup. Sophie, yeah, enemas, use them sparingly. You know, they're great to get rid of impactions, but you know, the bowels need to be strong and do their work on their own. You can't assist them too much, okay? Um, you know, or otherwise they'll like anything else, they'll kick back and just take a nap on you, and you don't want that. So yeah, use enemas very sparingly. Use the, you know, detox the four areas, and use the stomach and bowels formulas, and do the GI broom. Move up to the GI broom. We all need that, and it's fantastic. Okay, so anyways, that's going to be it for tonight, and I really appreciate everybody showing up. This was such a great crowd, and I think we're gaining some momentum here. And I want you to know, you know, we have 15 or 20 people on live most of the time here, and that's really great. But hundreds and hundreds of people are watching these afterwards, so your questions are really important, and hopefully we can bring more and more people this information, this simple, natural, you know, wonderful information that is really, truly life-changing. And it's easy on the planet. We're not killing animals. You know, it's very conscious, and just a very wonderful thing. And it will also elevate you spiritually, energetically. It's just so wonderful. And I'm glad to share this. And I can't wait till next week to share more with you. So anyways, have a great Thanksgiving, and remember, if you have a little cheat, nobody's going to get down on you. You know, take notes on how your body reacts and try to keep the cheat small. I know it's going to be difficult, and I've elected in my family to make the salad, so I'm in charge of the salad, and I'm going to make that my main course. So anyways, have a great Thanksgiving, and we'll see you guys back here next Monday. See you then.